That's a great song. Unfortunately, I've lost $20 betting that the song that Brian would pick when prompted with a 90s song would be from REM. So another loss for me in a long series of losses.
I'm unpredictable.
I see that. We are the Blunder Years. We're super excited to be here. We interview a brave guest each time we do a show. I ask them about some of the less confident times in their teenage or college life, and we explore why those times are the best times of our lives and why they're so special and why they make us the people that we are today. We're really excited to invite to the stage a very special guest, our coach and confidant and supporter. Please welcome Tez Yancey to the stage. It's Tez. Everyone can turn their sound on. That was the really sad clap that nobody could hear. We're all excited to be here.
Barry, I actually messaged everyone and requested a golf clap when I appeared.
See,
so yes, and
puppet strings behind the scenes the whole time. It's amazing.
Exactly.
We're excited to flip the script on you rather than you telling us about our scenes and how we're doing. We want to hear about you. Would love to start with whatever story comes to mind from your youth, and then we're going to ask you some questions about it, and then we're going to make up a bunch of scenes that celebrate a young Tez.
Good. Okay, good. So I was saying to y'all before we came on, I was like, I hadn't thought of anything specifically. I had some thoughts in mind. I was kind of going through the Rolodex of my childhood and was reliving some things. I may need therapy after this, just so you know. But I actually I let buckle up, as I mentioned, buckle up for this because I landed on something. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to reveal some stuff to y'all. Okay, so I was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, right? I grew up there. I have two sisters, both younger, but you never know that because they're very controlling in a good way. They were very protective of me. And I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be the big brother. So I never had an actual brother, but my mom, when she was, my whole family grew up in Boston and pretty much in the same neighborhood I grew up in. So my mom, when she was a kid, and my aunts and my uncle also grew up in the same neighborhood. And my mom befriended this woman named Pam Winder. They were best friends from kids. Like they went to school together, the whole nine. They grew up, my mom had me and my sisters. Pam had a boy named Malik and Jure. Well, Malik is my age, and so we grew up together. And he was sort of like the brother, literally like the brother I never had, right? We just did everything together in the city of Boston. We were in the city. So we were like mischievous, but not in like a bad way, but just like got into shit. You know what I'm saying? We got into stuff because there was nothing to do. It was the summertime, the city. And we just got into stuff. And because he had a younger brother, it was one of those things where it was like, we're going to play. Malik and I are going to play. Take your younger brother with you. It was that deal. So we would get into all kinds of stuff, and it was always the younger brother getting jacked up. So my godmother, growing up, had a business called Creative Connections. And she used to put together like these, she'd bring people together. It's pretty much what it sounds like. She'd connect people, creative people, and she would hold these like conventions, and she traveled around and stuff. And in the summertime, when we weren't in school, she would take us with her to like work the conventions and pay us like $1 an hour or some crazy stuff, but we didn't care. We were kids, and we got to kind of get a little bit outside of the city. So it would be like in some of the suburbs or Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard or somewhere kind of outside of the city. Well, this one year we were around, I think we're around 12 or 13. And she was holding a convention on Cape Cod. And it was a big deal because we got to go there, and all we had to do was get there, help her set everything up. And then our last job before we would basically have the last 3 hours when she was holding the convention to ourselves was just to help guide people parking, right? So we get there. When we arrive, there were these two really cute girls about our age. We found out that they were visiting Cape Cod from down south, as we called it. They actually were from Florida, Charlotte. So I know you're not there now. I know you're in Chicago, but I know you were in Florida. They were from Florida, and there were these two cute 12-year-old girls, and we got to talking to them in between setting up. They actually ended up, my godmother actually ended up talking to the parents and allowed them to come in and help set up as well. So we kind of became friends with these girls, and it was a whole thing. And so, we're 12, 13, so we're awkward, and we get done setting up, we get done guiding the parking people in the parking. And now we have like 3.5 hours to ourselves. And there's like a whole beach out there. And so we were allowed to go to the beach. So sure enough, the four of us are just going to the beach, and Malik and I bumping, elbowing each other like, good girl, and they talk like this. And we thought that was the coolest thing, that they sounded like this. We were just all influenced by that. So, so we're walking the beach, and it's this whole like scene, and we're walking and we're just heading this beautiful beach to our right, sand, and obviously we're walking far away. And the further away we get, we kept looking back, and look how small the convention place is getting, because we're getting further and further away. I failed to mention this. This is important. We also got fed lunch before we left, and it was this beautiful spread. It's like, I remember it was like Mexican food, like guacamole, and so we'd never had that at the time. So it was this whole spread we had. Great lunch, walking along the beach, laughing, talking, getting further and further and further away. We get far enough away that I just remember saying, wow, it looks like you can barely see the place now. And out of nowhere, my stomach gurgles. It was like drop. And I realized all the food I'd eaten. And I'm like, I have to use the restroom. There's not a restroom anywhere in sight, except for the place that's now this tiny, right? So I'm looking at Malik, and of course I'm like trying not to panic, but a panic is brewing, because I have to go, y'all. Like I told y'all to buckle up. I told you to buckle up, right? So I'm trying to play it cool as a 12, 13-year-old can play it. And I'm like, why don't we start heading back to the place? We're getting kind of far away. And I'm literally starting to talk like this. I remember feeling like I was out of breath. So we start walking back. And of course, as we're walking, it's getting worse. And I'm like, oh my. And now, y'all, the gas bubbles are happening. The SBDs are rocking, the silent but deadlies. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is that I know that I a couple of times I saw the girls like, what was that? And I did it too. Like, yeah, what was that? Trying to play along, right? So we're walking back. I'm starting to walk a little faster. So now I'm slightly ahead of everyone. It finally gets to a point where I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I gotta. And I take off, and I'm like, run, Forrest, run, right? And they're looking at me like, what? Y'all, I'm looking at the convention place. It's not getting any bigger. It's like I'm on a treadmill, it feels like, and I'm just running. Finally, y'all, now the ocean's on my left, and I literally was like, I'm not gonna make it into the ocean. But here's the thing, that's bad enough. But the worst part about it is my only goal was to get in the water before anything. All I hear as I'm submerging is, oh! Needless to say, when I got out of the water, the girls were gone. And Malik was pulling me out of the water.
That's a brother.
That's a brother for real. For real. Never saw those girls again.
Yeah.
Never wanted to. The end. I told you to buckle up.
Yeah.
Real life, y'all.
I want to just thank you for understanding the spirit of this show. Some people have given some embarrassing stories, and I've been like, that's not so embarrassing. That kind of made you look good. That was a real Blunder Year moment. I really appreciate that. I have a lot of questions.
I literally thought I might be scarred for life. Thank God I wasn't, but that was highly embarrassing.
That is, I agree. Okay. I'm sure everyone has a lot of questions. I will kick it off, and we'll kind of popcorn around. The first is a strategy question, which is, so you ended up in the water. When you first realized something was amiss, were you closer to the water at that time?
No.
Okay, so you were making progress towards the convention as well as the water.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like we were basically walking, like the ocean was here.
Yeah.
So we were walking alongside
Okay.
the whole time.
So there's an alternative universe in which you realized what was going on and we're just like, let's just get in the water, and nothing happens at all. Right. Okay. Just making sure. Yes.
No, we were just walking alongside.
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever work at another convention? Were you welcomed back to work?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my, she was family. And but I never went back to Cape Cod, like to work. If she was going back there, I was like, I'll pass.
Have you ever been back since?
Oh yeah, I've been back as an adult. I've been back. I had to get back on the horse. You know what I'm saying? Cape Cod horse.
Yeah.
So I did do that.
Oh my goodness! All right, what else do people got?
So I think you might have covered this with Barry, but did Malik know when nature called? Did you tell him, or was it kind of just like you were hanging out and then all of a sudden you just made a beeline into the ocean?
I was doing everything in my power to communicate to him non-verbally, like a warm-up. Trying to communicate to him. That's where I got that warm-up from. No, I'm kidding.
Gotcha. You invented it.
I was inspired by. No, I was trying to communicate to him. It was like I was looking at him, and the thing, it was like literally beads of sweat just started forming, like boop, 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 like beads of sweat. And I'm like giving him the look, and he's looking at me. He's still doing the like, yeah, I know, right? I'm like, no, not that. I'm like, not that.
So he thinks you're getting like anxious because you're talking to girls and you have 3 hours and to yourselves. He's like, he has no idea the trouble brewing.
Zero idea. Yeah. And the thing is, Malik and I were, still are. It really is like, it's like we were twins. You know what I mean? How they say you have that sort of, like, we really were connected. We did some crazy things. Again, mischievous, not bad, but just mischievous stuff. A lot of stuff that could have hurt ourselves, actually. I consider telling that story, but maybe I'll say that for another Blunder Years. But we were pretty in tune with each other. That's why the irony here was that the one time you're not getting it, and even if he did, what the hell was he going to do? Actually, you know what I mean?
Nice. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
So I'm curious, do you know of anyone else who was at the convention that experienced the same stomach trouble from this Mexican food?
I don't, actually. That's a great question. I don't. I just chalked it up to I had never had that type of food before. I loved it, and I love it now. Like, again, got back on that horse, never bothered me after. But yeah, I just chalked it up to like I hadn't ever had it before, and it was just foreign to my stomach, until I got used to it. So yeah, I don't know, Sam, if anyone else did. That would be. I'd love to know the other side, actually. Yeah. I wasn't alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just while you're doing it in the ocean, like all the bathrooms are occupied.
Yes.
So after you went into the ocean, like what was your, obviously clearly you didn't have a game plan for after, but what did you do when you like came out and you're just like sopping wet? And yeah, I just want to know about the aftermath.
I did this. That's literally what I did. And I was crying out of embarrassment, and it was summertime, so it wasn't cold, but it's just like, I don't have a change of clothes. I didn't plan on jumping in the water, fully clothed, shoes, socks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Shoes.
Yes. Yeah. Sneakers and the whole nine, you know what I mean? So yeah, I remember, God bless my godmother, man. I remember her wringing my shirt out, you know what I mean? Like it was a whole, hanging it up, So I had to go home fully damp.
Now, besides the four of you, was there or did anybody else see it? Was this an isolated incident?
There may have been people there, but to be honest with you, I don't remember. It felt like, like, did you ever see that movie, The Devil's Advocate? Anyone ever see that movie with Al Pacino? Anyway, I don't want to spoiler alert, I guess, but there's a great scene in there where they're in New York City, and it's like the moment of realization of who this character is. And it's like empty in New York, with deserted, so it has an eerie feel. It was kind of like, where is anyone else to help? I just remember, and it was weird because when I went in the water, there were 3 people. When I came out, it was just Malik. And those girls had to run fast because we were far away. So they're probably scarred for life, actually. So I don't recall, Richard, if there was anyone else around. I don't remember that at all.
Oh, so you said that you grew up in Boston. Like what decade was this?
The 80s.
80s?
Yep.
Oh,
80s,
not
90s.
oh,
Huh?
80s and 90s. I was just gonna ask, have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Yep.
How as someone who like lived in Boston, how do you feel about that movie? How do you feel about its portrayal?
Well, interestingly enough, so it's like anything with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Mark Wahlberg. It's like that's one section of Boston, which is mostly South Boston. They call it Southie. Emily grew up in the South End, which is the other side. So whenever I say that, they go Southie, I'm like, no, it's the other side of the city. So the Southie, South Boston, and the South End of Boston. It was really, really strange. So, but I went to the same high school as those guys. I went to high school in Cambridge, which is Ringelat, which is where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck went. So they were like, that was like a big deal. It was like, oh shit, they went here. You know what I mean? So I kind of, anything they did during that period of time, I was about it because I'm like, those are hometown cats. You know what I mean? But the accent's spot on for sure. They better be. They're from there, and but they're also good actors. And that there are pockets is like the North End, South Boston, South End. It's very specific energies, and they capture that really well. Where I grew up wasn't like that though. It was a different energy in the South End. It was much more city, much rougher. Well, it was pretty rough there too. But yeah, pretty accurate.
Nice. Awesome. Well, those are 2 different trajectories in life. And I appreciate you sharing the story. We're going to hopefully make it feel a little bit better. And yeah, let's do some scenes. Let's make Tez's life come back to life.
Tim, I don't care if I'm lactose intolerant. I'm going to have yogurt parfaits for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? Yes, it scars my colon, but when you get off, you got to get back on that horse. That's how you get that. You can't give up.
Get back on the wagon now.
This one has the extra dairy in it. Oh, yeah.
Oh God!
Maybe pour some milk in there too. I
No.
really want to just knock it out of the
No,
park.
God.
Really shake my immune system.
Hey,
Hmm.
hey. Don't let's not do that because
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You can't give up. You can't give up. That's staying off the wagon, staying off the horse. You can't give up. You don't ever give up. I don't care how bad it is for me.
you know what happens every single time you have dairy. Oh, God. Well,
I think they're getting lighter.
it sounds heavier.
Well, yeah, that's the heavy whipping cream that I added to this one.
Jesus Christ, you brought the Miracle Whip too.
Okay, pass me the Ready Whip. It's next to the True Moo.
Okay, right here.
Okay, here we go. This is for you, Ma.
Ooh.
Oh, God. It's passing.
All right.
Oh, God.
Are you ready? Are you ready? We'll try to break the world record this time. That's 5 hours.
It's 5 hours.
5
5
hours.
hours of a 5-hour fart. That's what we're going for here. Ready? We're going to time it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Cut to 4 hours and 59 minutes later.
Oh, you got 1 more minute. You got 1 more minute. Oh, give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. We can do this. We can do this. Come on.
You're a brother to me. You know this.
Brothers. You did it.
We did
Oh.
it. I did it, Ma.
Yeah, Richard. Son, I'm not proud of you.
What are you talking about, Ma? I farted for 5 hours and 4 seconds. I got lactose intolerance out of our gene pool. I got back on the horse.
Just know that was a horse I never wanted you to get on in the first place. It was a horse that I worked hard for you to stay away from.
Oh, God. I need to sit out. Ow, can't sit down.
Nope,
Okay.
you do not put that tush on my cushions. Do not go stand in the corner. The smell still lingers. Go stand in the corner.
Is there okay? But like, do we have any like any strawberry quick or perhaps any government cheese of some sort or maybe a fresh cut of smoked Gouda?
Oh, look, son, where are you trying to go from here? You already have the record. You have tarnished our family name, and you yelled, "This is for you, Mom," while setting the record.
Because it was for you, first of all.
I don't take it back, please.
I can't take it back. Guinness already put it in print, so that's there. But beside the point, I do it because I just what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it's all about getting back on the horse.
No. You know what? I'm gonna contest this.
What?
I'm gonna contest the record.
Edit. Hey, Pa, I fell off the horse. I need you to help me get back on it. I'm too short. I can't reach the stirrup.
All right, here we go. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I can't. It's really tall up here. I'm afraid of heights. I guess I should have thought about that before I got back on the horse.
Having a little deja vu here. This is where you scream for a moment and then you fall off and then you ask to get back on the horse. I'm not really sure where this is going. I'm happy to support you in everything you do for my child, but I feel like this is a little bit stuck.
Yeah, I just wanted to make you proud. I did it for you.
Could you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I felt like this was the only way to get the attention, You have been busy because the farm, I saw the for sale signs and, they're pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah, I have been busy trying to sell the farm so that we can.
Wait. You're trying to sell the farm? I thought you were trying to prevent it from being sold. Oh.
Oh, we're well past that. I mean, I guess I really haven't been paying attention to you. I've already gone through all 5 stages of grief with respect to losing the farm, and now I'm just fully in solution mode on trying to. No. I'm just gonna hold you up here. No. How did you find another way to slide off the horse? Jeez. I'm sorry that I haven't paid so much attention.
Ah, help! I fell off the mule. Ah! Pa, pay attention to me, Pa.
Is this about a sibling rivalry that you had to get on a taller draft animal? Okay, Sam, here. Each of you take one hand. We're all just going to stay in position. We're not going to fall any further. We're all family. We're all dealing with the competition of the world. We're dealing with the competition between siblings and you're.
Pa,
It's an unnecessary rotation.
my weak fingers.
Okay, fine. We'll all just
Pa, I fell off the alpaca.
Everyone, the alpaca. This is why. All right, we're all just gonna sit on the ground, and everybody's gonna be on the same level, and nobody's gonna fall. Charlie, you're wriggling away at a slight decline.
I fell off the rooster, Pa.
Kids, this is why nobody was able to buy the farm.
Edit. No. Please come back in.
Oh no.
Please come back in. I'm sorry. That was the worst interview for this convention catering job that I've ever been a part of. You really focused on sneakiness, which is not a core value of creative conventions. And also you weren't sneaky.
I just thought, being creative, it was in the name. So, I'm sorry. I have a quick question. What would you like me to do with all these forks?
Did you bring those?
No, I got them off the tables. You just said I wasn't being sneaky. I just wasn't sure what you wanted me to do with these. Yeah.
You took all the forks off the tables of the convention
Just the
that was set up on your way into the back office for this interview. I admit I misjudged your sneakiness. However, sneakiness is not a core value, and trustworthiness is a core value. And you've just pilfered 400 forks, which is not a great thing.
Yeah. I hear you when you say trustworthiness is a key value.
I'm listening.
But you can trust. I also grabbed all the banners from
what?
Yeah, the convention hallway. So you can trust that I'm good at taking things. See how that works?
Yes. I would describe that more as like a confidence in your skill. I have very little trust in what you're going to do with that skill. By the way, your sneakiness is skyrocketing at this point. I didn't see you leave the room, and somehow you got 400 forks and 20 banners. Would you consider a role more like espionage?
Yeah. So you mentioned roles. So in my purse, I have literally every single one of the yeast rolls from the buffet. See?
Let me see the inside of that purse.
There you go. There's a hidden compartment. You just mentioned espionage, so.
The hidden compartment does not explain this is a 2 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot purse, and that was 750 yeast rolls. I'm like stepping on yeast rolls.
Yeah, the whole room just filled with yeast rolls.
Who are you?
Wouldn't you like to know?
See. Hey. Hey. I don't know where from, but I think you're you're kind of a cute. Is that what they say up here?
Can you just please say that one more time? Your accent is very indecipherable.
I think you're kind of cute.
You think I'm a kind of a kid?
Cute.
Kid?
Cute.
Kid! I am
Cute.
young. Oh, cute.
Cute. Yeah, cute. Cute.
Thanks. Oh, that's so sweet.
Sorry, I don't really get around, about these parts. I see one of these like flying alligators. I'm sorry, this usually don't happen in Florida.
Flying alligator?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple in my childhood, but I don't see like a lot of them. Like I don't, they're usually not white and small.
Okay. Okay.
My uncle, he had a couple of alligators at his house, and he strapped on one of them like one of them things that you put in the water. What's that thing called? A boat.
A boat?
A boat.
A
And he
boat?
made them like go in the water, and they were like swimming on it. It was kind of cool.
Is this flirting?
I got Sam. Okay, Cletus. Now I know you're on your way to the big city, and these big city gals, they don't have a bunch of gators up there. So you have to learn to, walk right up to them and say, golly, you're cute. You probably use one of them like fancy hair brushing gators, or they probably use like their teeth brushing gators or something like that. They're not like us down here, way down South Florida. Like you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Man, I feel like I could put on my fancy little like gator suit for them one of them.
Ooh, you're gonna be beating them off with a gator before time you get up there.
Oh, damn. Noel, you go. I'm damn, Noel, you do it again, brother.
It's just the way I is. Now remember, are you taking the 5 o'clock gator, or are you taking the 6 o'clock flying gator? Because I know you've never been on one of them before.
I was thinking about taking one of them big old like leaving gators, that goes up way high up in the sky, so one of them things.
Man goes to the big city, he takes one of them flying gators all the way up there. Where you get the kind of gators for that kind of gator?
Well, they got one of them tater gators, I'm not gonna put it out there, but we got them tater gators out there.
All right, you and your tater gators, you can go get out of here up in the big city now.
I got Ryan. I just don't think this is gonna work. I mean, all you talk about is gators. I know that's a big thing in Florida, but Florida's a big state. There's more, like Harry Potter World.
Man.
Universal Studios.
Tag out Sam. Oh man, did you see that gator at Harry Potter World? Oh, that thing. Oh man.
Harry Gator, I love him. I wanted to go to that. What's that team called? A Gator Door. I wanted to be part of that.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could have a flying gator broom. That would be amazing.
Oh, I want to play some Crocodile Witch too. That's we put it at that bottle.
Could you imagine? See, this is why I get along with you so well, Cletus, because we could just talk about gators for days. I mean, did you see that gator they had at Epcot? Oh man.
Which one you talk about that gator that was in that Mickey Mouse movies?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Tag out Charlotte. Dude, there are no gators in Harry Potter. There are no gators in Mickey Mouse. There's hardly any gators in the whole Disney franchise.
Well, then what did a snake turn into?
What?
Tag out Sam. Now these big city gals are gonna tell you that there ain't no gators in the Disney franchise, and I'm here to tell you gotta stick to your roots, son. You just gotta get in there and you just gotta say, well, what about the gator in Harry Potter? What about the gator in the new Star Wars films? What about the gators in the Star Wars anthology gators? What about all those gators in the new Avengers movies? Huh? What about them? You just got to stick to your roots, and you just got to go on there and
I'm gonna make sure I keep it together.
Now you're gonna make the great state of Florida proud, son. I promise you that. You just keep your your heart close to your gator and you go out there and be yourself.
Doyle, can I ask you a question, Doyle?
Please do.
Are you impersonating Bill Clinton now?
Tag out Ryan.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man. Don't let them, they tell you that I'm not a real gator and that Disney does not have gators in their franchises. But I'm here to tell you that I am real and I'm here to make all your dreams come true.
Gator Dumb from the Mighty Gators. I've been thinking about you for days. Thank you, Lord.
So you get 3 gator wishes, and there's some rules to these wishes. You can't ask for more wishes. That's the only rule.
So I got 3 gator wishes and I can't ask for any more. I have unlimited gator taters.
I can do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2. Woo-hoo, sweet dog. Got some gator taters right there. Number 2, I want them little small white fluttery things to be as big as a gator.
Oh,
so that I can see the official flying gators.
Those moths. You want them as big as yeah. I can do that. Oh, wow.
Fly gator. And then for 3rd, I want to make sure that all them characters and all them big time movies, the Avengers and all that and Harry Potter and everything, I want them to be all gators.
Oh, good. Excellent choice. I can do that.
And got me a gator losa. I love it.
Edit.
Arsonists assemble. I've got some great news. I was doing various arsons this week in Denver, and I learned a great trick that I want to pass on to you. I was just running down just row by row, and this set of houses, just lighting them on fire, and nobody said one word to me, because every time I lit a house on fire, I was like, "Yeah, what was that?"
Oh, that's so brilliant.
You just act like that, like, "Oh wow, look at the house is on fire."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
The row houses, weren't they?
Yeah, and like each one is like kept going to the next one. And I just kept walking, like, "Oh, that house on fire! Look at that shit! Somebody better call 911." Nobody had any idea it was me. I was holding the equipment, the arson equipment. We all know the arson equipment. Some sparklers. I was holding some WD-40. I had my arson book with me. Like I was like head to toe arsonist, and nobody said one word because I just acted like one of the other. I was a civilian. I was like, "Oh, look at this fires! Look at what are the odds of a whole row of houses coming on fire?"
I know. That's so good. That's inspirational. I was down at the shore and there was a row of beach houses, right? And so, I had my gasoline.
Yeah.
I had a paintbrush just as a disguise. I'm a painter, not an arsonist. And then I said, "Whoa, everyone, look at the shoreline." And then just spilled the oil.
They just looked away.
Yeah, they just looked away. They were like, we spent our whole lives at the shoreline, but have we really ever looked at the shoreline?
That's a win-win arson. Like they had a moment with the shoreline. You got a moment to burn down a row of houses. This is, man, we are thriving. Please bring us home, Rich. I really hope you had a good weekend.
I was in DC, and all them buildings were put together. All them, what's it called? Skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And then I went in there unsuspicious, with the spray, just to get all the weeds out. And then I put it on fire, and they had no idea. They were like, "Wow, this just happened." But Our weeds are clean now.
Clean weeds. Okay.
Edit. Hey, y'all, like, I just saw in Better Homes and Gardens this new way to weed. You know, we've been a bunch of schmucks just pulling weeds and bending over and hurting our backs. But there's this new way. You just light them all on fire. Yeah, just burn them down.
You what?
You light them up.
You're talking about starting a. You're talking about lighting stuff on fire instead of just getting on your hands and knees.
It's called a controlled burn, from what I understand. How?
You okay?
Yeah, I just hit my knee on this tree. It's fine.
Oh, that's
yeah, we're good.
Set that one on fire later. But honestly, Charlotte, I don't think that's a good idea to start a controlled fire or talk about promoting controlling fires for just at-home everyday gardeners. You know, our demographics are.
Well, I'm not promoting it. It's Better Homes and Gardens. I just read the article.
Well, regardless, I don't think you should do that anyway. You shouldn't do it.
Okay, I guess I'll find another place for this lighter and this gas.
I'll tell you where the best place is. Way the fuck over there where they're not in your hands.
So you mean?
Just get on the ground. Well, I have knee pads.
Oh, okay. You need me to get on the ground?
Just go ahead and get on the ground. Just perfect. Just like that. Watch your knee. Hold
on.
And so
I shouldn't start this lighter next to
No. Oh God. Okay. Where's the water? How is there no water in the can?
Here's the water.
Okay. Thank you.
Got it.
Got it.
Poof! More fire.
Oh God! That's the gasoline. You can't get gasoline. Where the hell is the water? How is there a garden but no watering can?
I mean, hey, listen. The good thing is no weeds.
Yeah, okay. I can see the weeds look great, but like the lack, and it's really fertilizing the soil. But that's beside the point. The point is there's a fire out of control in our neighborhood.
Tag out everybody. Bring back in Barry and Richard. Okay, so I came up with like a whole new tactic.
Yeah.
Like, so I told everyone in the neighborhood, hey, let's play Marco Polo. And so they all closed their eyes.
Yeah.
And I took all the water.
Man, you know, that is brilliant.
Tag out everyone. Marco!
Where the fuck is the water? Oh God!
I'm just laying on the bottom of the pool. This is awful.
Oh God, this soil is gonna be great for next season, though.
Back to the arsonist.
Edit.
All right. So that's why I think I'm the best person for this job. You know, I think while it's a formality, I always do like to provide references. And so, you know, as you see at the bottom of my resume, I had two sisters growing up. It was really close to my mom. My mom has a really good friend named Gail, and Gail's godmother actually lived next door to me. And, you know, we would share a cab, you know, sometimes going down to the market on Saturdays. A great guy named Cliff. And Cliff, you know, works in sales. Knows a great salesperson. Sold me my first car, actually. His name is Bob
Mr.
Watson.
Wright,
Yeah.
that's lovely.
Yeah.
I really love how you really seem like a people person, very extroverted. That's what we really need in the marketing department.
Great.
But I was wondering if you had any professional references I can call up, maybe perhaps like your past employer, maybe a professor.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. So Bob Watson sold me that car, and I drove that car to college. And along the way, I met somebody at a rest stop in Northern Virginia. Turns out they do marketing. That's my reference.
Oh, wow. So your Prince is about 8 degrees removed from you.
Yes. And that's how you know it's a good one.
I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright. It's really important to get someone who can really speak to your character, because this position needs a security clearance. So we need someone who is really familiar with your work. Professional references are always what we want to go to, but
Sure.
A family friend.
Glad you said that. So I recently posted my spec sheet, the portfolio that I shared with you, to Twitter. My childhood sweetheart liked that post and shared it on TikTok, where, again, one of my aforementioned sisters duetted it. And she kind of talked about like the inspiration of the workout on her. She's a musician. So I can send you that TikTok.
No, I need a name, I need an address, I need a phone number,
Okay.
and I need a one-word relationship, right? So, okay, for instance,
I can do that. Yeah.
So when you set your password for things and fill out paperwork and stuff, and there's a drop-down menu for relationships, like mother, father, spouse.
Yeah.
Is there anyone I can contact that has a one-word relationship with you that could speak to your character?
You said this job had a security clearance. There's no way I'm answering that question. There's no way I'm answering that question. I'm not going to tell you anything that could be used to access my personal files. I'm not going to tell you a street name. Everything is going to be completely obfuscated from here on out. I'm not going to even use every letter and every word that I'm going to say from here on out.
What? You have a really good resume, really great spec sheet. Okay. And that's why I'm still here trying to level with you. I'm not trying to steal any of your information. I was tempted to ask you what your mother's maiden name was, but I thought, you know what? Nope.
She doesn't have one.
What? Mother has a maiden name. All mothers have maiden names. Okay, it's like you are born with a maiden name.
I burned my fingerprints off.
What? If you were to get this job, we would need to take your thumbprint and put it on a badge. How else are you going to all our files?
There's a thumbprint requirement for this job.
Yes.
And I was going to introduce you to my best friend's dog sitter.
What?
To show you them a mirror image of my resume reflected along a long hallway.
What?
So that you can see the QR code to access my second secret portfolio. I cannot believe I trusted this interview process.
What? You have a second portfolio?
Of course I have a second portfolio. The first portfolio was a decoy portfolio.
So wait.
Don't you have a decoy company? Am I working for the real company?
This is the real company. Why do you think we have to vet everyone so thoroughly?
Because it's supposed to be the decoy honeypot company to...
Oh my God. Okay.
There's been a huge misunderstanding.
Please. Look, so that portfolio of work that you submitted, it's not even your real work?
Correct.
Okay, we're done here.
Yes, we are.
Scene.
So my husband and I, we're not from Boston, but we wanted the authentic Boston experience, didn't we, honey? And that's why we decided to come to this famed Boston stronghold restaurant, Wahlburgers.
I love me that good old Marky Wahlberg in 22 Mile.
Oh, it's 22 Mile or All Four Brothers. His brother Donnie, their other brother who actually does the cooking, whose name escapes me at this time. But we were wondering to you, the host/hostess who is here, are they working today? Are the Wahlberg siblings working today?
I want some Wahlburgers.
Host or hostess, please stop ignoring us.
I want to see Dirk Diggler.
I want to see Dirk Diggler. I want to see Boogie Nights. I want to see The Fighter. I want to see all the other ones. Damn it, hostess, do not ignore us.
Don't ignore me. I'm trying to give you the good vibrations.
Cut to
Oh
the
my
hostess
gosh.
station. To the hostess station in the back of the restaurant. I'm not going out there.
Why? Why aren't you? Bleh, why?
Nobody told me when I took this job that I looked so much like the Wahlbergs. It's really frustrating.
You are the main attraction of the restaurant. Like I can't go out there. I don't look enough like them. It's all you. You got to go out there, please.
I don't know anything about the Wahlbergs. I just got this job on Craigslist. They're going to ask me questions. Do you
Cut to the dinner table. Okay, so what do you think you want to ask them first? So what's the difference between, say, Southie and Dorchester?
Well, the Southie has barbecue sauce and frizzled onions, where the Dorchester has 2 slices of tomato and bacon bits.
That's good. And what about the how do you like them Harvards?
Yeah. It's if you want dessert, we do have. It's basically a traditional apple pie. It comes with a long blonde, like a blondie crust in the bar.
Sorry, you look like you're definitely part of the Wahlberg family. Are you?
No.
You're not Mark. I know Mark.
Not to say that, sweetie.
But
I'm
which one
obligated
is
to say I'm part of the Wahlberg family because I am an employee. But
Oh, I get it. You're like Mark Wahlberg in The Departed, where you can't tell anybody because you're going undercover.
I
you
know.
look
Shut up! This is an episode of Undercover Boss, and yes, I am Mark Wahlberg. You need to be cool. I did not get up at 2:45 in the morning, work out for 2 hours, eat oats, go back to sleep, spend 4 hours praying with my family to come to work for this episode of Undercover Boss, to have it ruined and have the production ruined by 2 people who can't keep their shit together. Do you understand? Order a burger.
Sir, Mark
Order a
Wahlberg,
burger.
sir. Yes, sir, Mark Wahlberg, sir. Oh my God, it's Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, sir.
Marky Mark and the Fun Bunch.
Damn it!
New Kids on the Block.
Thank you for remembering that part.
edit. Bring in Sam. Ma'am, I'm sorry. So I know that you want your son's, Guinness World Book of Record annulled, but we can't do that. It is written in just the absolute, stone at this point.
No.
But yeah.
Ma, I know you're in there. I
Hey,
know you're in there trying to get my record.
stay out there. You stay out there.
But
You tell me to stay out, I'm coming in. Okay.
Don't.
What the hell's going on in here?
This is what it looks like.
yeah.
I did this for you.
I didn't want you to.
So help me God. I will dive head first into some Philadelphia cream to get you to love me again. Miss Guinness Book World Record lady. Did she get it erased?
Not yet. I was about to just say the stipulation of getting it erased.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, explain it to her.
Yeah, the only thing that you have to do is bring in a gator. Yeah, you just have to get a gator. I know this is Boston, so they're few and far.
Sorry, did I hear about some gators going on here?
Who the hell is this guy? I definitely don't know who he is.
It's your
I'm sorry.
father. It's your father.
Hey, is that Is it me or is the building on fire?
Let's go get some gator taters.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna go get some gator taters. I'll
we
see
should-
y'all later.
we should go.
Well, let's go to Wahlburgers and get some gator taters.
Ma, for the love of God, if you could explain one thing to me, why can't you just love me? Why can't you just love me for who I am?
You want who you are. You want who you are to be a 5-hour fart. Look, son.
I
don't
used to be a 3.25 hour fart. Now I'm 5. I'm improving, Mom.
I don't have a gator, so I can't get that record removed, but I think I'm doing this because I love you, but I am going to crush that record, and I'm going to use my maiden name so they can't track us to our family.
What?
They're having this conversation as the house is burning down around them.
We have a maiden name.
No, you don't. I do. I'm a
Oh.
mother.
I guess. Well, just because you said I don't have one means I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get the maiden name before you do.
Don't call that Guinness, woman, because I'm going to start a new record as the house goes down.
Cut to 4 hours later.
I was still tooting.
Edit.
That's our show. Oh my God. Everyone, please join us on stage. Ted's coming out. I hope that our instincts to create a more embarrassing bodily function moment served you well. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you so much to everyone for joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun. We are the Blunder Years, and we hope that your next trip to a convention or to eat Mexican food or to walk on a beach does not end up like that.
No.
Thank you all so much. Have a good night. We will see you back here on the channel next time. Everyone.